Hello there, this is Jason Fernandez, soft skill trainer and a learning professional. Today we are going to learn something from the English grammar called as tenses. The tenses usually mean any verb form that indicates time. Yes, time. We're talking about something that happens in time. A verb may refer to the present time, to the past time, or to the future time. A verb that refers to present time is said to be in the present tense. For example, I write, I wrote, which would mean now. A verb that refers to the past time is said to be in the past tense. For example, I wrote, I worked, which would mean then. A verb that refers to the future time said to be in the future tense. I shall write, I shall work, which would mean later. Thus, there are three main tenses, which are the present, the past, and the future tense. Wow, we finished this. Now let's look at the subcategories of this. Simple tense. Simple tenses are used whenever we are talking about a point in time. So if we take a timeline, and if we see the past, future, and the present marked on this timeline, you will exactly know what we are talking about. Let's see the past simple tense, used for an action that happened at a point in time. I ate breakfast this morning. In the present, it would mean a point happening in the present. Example is, I eat breakfast every day. Similar, in the future simple, an action happening at that point. Example would be, I will eat breakfast. Hence, if you see now, the auxiliary verb to eat changes. So the simple past, ate, simple present, eat, and simple future, will eat. Wow, that's a relief. We finished something. Let's go on to the next one. Continuous tense. Continuous tense are usually used whenever we're talking about a length of time. So again, when we go on the timeline, we see that we are going to talk not only of the point in time, but we are going to talk about a length in time of the past, the present, and the future. Let's look at the past continuous. An action that was happening for a length of time. I was eating breakfast when my brother arrived. Present continuous. Same, the action happening now. Right now, I am eating breakfast. And the future continuous, used for an action which will be happening in the length of time. Example, I will be eating breakfast. Now if you see, the auxiliary verb to eat changes as the tense. Now it becomes continuous past, was eating, continuous present, am eating, continuous future, will be eating. That's great, we finished another lesson. Let's go ahead. Perfect tenses. Perfect tenses are used whenever we are talking about a point in time before another point in time. So there are two incidents happening here in a point in time. So if you can see, the action of breakfast and the action of brother's arrival. So the past perfect is, the example would be, I had already eaten breakfast when my brother arrived. Present is an action again happening before another action. The example here would be, I have already eaten breakfast. Let's look at the future, what would it be here? You're having breakfast till your brother arrives. The example here would be, I will have eaten breakfast by the time my brother arrives. Hence now, to conclude, the auxiliary verb to eat changes as the tense. Perfect past, had eaten. Perfect present, have eaten. Perfect future, will have eaten. Wow, that's really good. Let's go ahead with perfect continuous tenses. Perfect continuous tense are used whenever we are talking about a length of time up to a point in time. Let us see how this looks on the timeline. We are still having the breakfast and we are still brother arriving. Now let's see past perfect continuous. For length of time up to a moment. Example, I had been eating breakfast for 30 minutes when my brother arrived. In the present, in the same format, let's see how it looks here. Present perfect continuous. Example, I have been eating my breakfast for 30 minutes. And the future with the similar conditions, it looks something like this. Future perfect continuous. Example, I will have been eating my breakfast. Hence, if you see now, the auxiliary verb to be changes as the tense. Perfect continuous past, had been eating. Perfect continuous present, have been eating. Perfect continuous future, will have been eating. Nice. So we are almost through and now we are done. So to summarize all the tenses what we have learned today, let's take the timeline once again to show the tenses, the past, the present and the future. And further on we have simple tense, perfect tense, continuous tense and perfect continuous. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.